So that's 3 times what they're asking here. It's really a unique piece. That's the piece I would take with me. You can do this. It's Dr. Lori. I'm at Evergreen Antiques and More in Woodbury, New Jersey. I'm going to find you those treasures. Come thrift with me. I love this. I always love these. Let me stand up so I don't break my back here. These pieces I think are great. It's a wonderful mid-20th century form. And you like, of course, the crackle glass from the 1960s. And again, you have what they sometimes call amberina glass. This is a nice crackle pattern. They want $35 for this. I think that's a bargain. I think you can get $40 for this. I'm looking at some glass and I like certain things. I like sets, you know I like sets. These particular pieces are anchor hocking and they're perfume bottles. They're hobnail, see all the hobnails? But here's what I don't like. First of all, inside this one has a lot of residue from the old perfume, so you can see the brown residue on the interior. Difficult to clean out, but a lot of people either it's gonna be clean or it's gonna be full. So if it were full of perfume, it'd be one thing. You've got loss areas on these particular hobnails. So they should have the white like all the rest of the hobnails. When they don't, value goes down. So let's see what they want. They're anchor hocking, $15. So for two of them are 25. So 15 and 15, if I do my math, is 30, so a little bit high. I would leave those there, even though they're a set. You're going, oh, Dr. Lori's passing by sets. No, not really. Everybody and their brother has a glass flower frog. They're everywhere. These are for flowers. They're not for pens. I've seen people go, they're for pens. They're not for pens. They're for flowers. They sit in a bowl, and then basically you put the stems of the flowers in this. What do they want for this? They want $24 for that vintage pink Depression glass. Well, that's about double what it should be. But this is nice Depression glass pieces. The pink is very nice, and the coloration of the pink is quite nice. If you look at the colors, you can see the differences. This is really a pure pink. This is more of an orange pink. I hope you can see the coloration difference between the colors, and that's important for value. So this one, the one that's not so pink, I would leave there, and the one that's truly pink, $14 for this one. That's worth about $20, so there's your bargain. Some milk glass with the hobnail in the back, and some other cased glass pieces, also of white glass. There's a difference between milk glass and white glass. White glass has much more of a opaque kind of look. This piece is really pretty. I like that piece with a serpentine edge. And this piece, I don't know, let's see about value. Fenton basket, 26. Here's what I like about this. I like each one of these elements that is pinched, so it feels like actually the material of a true basket. And again, the way in which there's just this nice ribboned edge that's serpentine. $26, $40. So that's a deal. The good luck symbol in this teapot brought me over here. So it's taped down, which I hate tape, but you know, taped down here. This particular symbol, the open hole, kind of like the donut hole teapot, I like very much. It's a vintage Hall American teapot with, of course, these orange poppies. And they've got a couple pieces. They've got this is the citrus pitcher, teapot, salt and pepper, and then an open bowl. Hall, ironstone, ceramic, transfer ware decoration. And what do they want for it? They want $22 for the bowl. I think I just paid $22 for the bowl. The rest of the pieces, this is really the piece. And the piece here is $60. Here's $60 for the orange poppies teapot with the lid from the 1940s. They always say it's the 1930s, but it's into the early years, just about the time that we get into World War II. I think that piece is worth $75. It's really a unique piece. These pots, of course, are hand-painted with moriage. Moriage, wet slipware, where you, of course, can feel the wet slip. And you could feel the wet slip on this piece, too, as well. So this one is vintage Nippon, and, of course, it has a lid. I want you to look at this lid, though, because the lid is not painted in the same way as the rest of it. So you have more of a luster attention to detail on the lid than you do on the side or on the body of this piece. So you see how this is sort of very lightly touched with the brushwork, almost like just details, and then the rest of the body is not the same. I don't think the lid actually matches. I think the lid, it fits, but it's not the same. So that's what we're looking at there. On the underside, it tells you about that it's made in Japan, that it's Nippon. You should be able to recognize that by the form. And then the other thing I want you to look at, and I want you to look carefully because you see this? It's broken here. There's a damage right here. This chocolate pot in good condition, worth about $70. And with that damage, this one's worth probably $30. So at $25, you're still getting a deal. This one, definitely the correct lid. See how the body paint matches the lid paint? You got to look at these things. You have to look at what does the lid really look like, and does it actually fit? Is it too big, right? Is it too small? Does it actually fit this way, right? Does it fit within this space? And then look right there. What is that? That's a chip. Nothing other than a chip. That's damage right there. So you say, oh, it's hidden by the lid. It is, but it's still damage. On the bottom, you can see this mark. And then you can see the way in which that star comes out. They want 25 for this one. And it too, just like this one is damaged, this one has some damage on the interior too. So, and it says, and I give them credit, because look, it's as is, chip inside the lid. They tell you. They're not trying to hide it. If you're reading, but nobody's reading, I would say value on that is about 25. This particular piece is 20 bucks, and it's McCoy. It's early McCoy. McCoy starts in 1910. But later on, you're going to see pieces like this in the very typical mid-century modern style. This particular piece at 20 bucks is easily worth 45, almost 50. So more than double. That's the piece I would take with me. You want to start selling? There's an empty booth here, right? Complete with shelving and even an electrical outlet. You can do this. You can do this. I found Chrissy. I'm very excited because Chrissy I got when I was 4, and she's a big deal. Her hair grows. She has a knob in her back that will allow you to grow her hair long and long and long. Well, one of my sisters cut off her hair so she doesn't grow long and long and long anymore. But this one's great. She even has the cool way that she spells her name without the H. Chrissy was a big deal in the early 70s. Holiday ornaments, you know that they're valuable. I want to show you which ones because a lot of times the old ones get mixed in with the new ones. This is a kugel. Kugels usually are the shape of a pine cone or grapes or that kind of thing, sometimes an acorn. So kugels, the first German types of ornaments. So this particular piece is $5 for a check ornament. It's probably worth $7. This is the best one here. While I do like the kugels, this is the best one here, $9. That's a $10 ornament. So they're a little bit under market for this particular ornament. And this one dates to like 1948 to 1955. But then you get ones like these, and these are, while they're vintage, they're not as old as these other ones. And how do you tell? See this seam? That seam around any figural ornament puts it, of course, after the 1960s. How much is the kugel? Kugel's $6. The pinecone kugel at $6 is very cheap. I'd probably put 15 on that, so that's more than double. I do tell you to buy artwork. I want you to look at the frame. The frame is wood. It's the 1970s. You could pass on this piece because it's just awful. I mean, it's not well executed. It's not good at all. So whatever the price on it is too high because it's not a good work of art. You got to train your eye. Everybody badmouths brown furniture, what they call brown furniture, usually made of mahogany or a solid hardwood, usually has machine-cut dovetails, right? This is a piece of brown furniture. It's a multi-drawer, it looks like a 6-drawer dresser. It's got bracketed feet, that's what those are called, bracketed feet. And in addition to the bracketed feet, which are nice and strong and heavy, classic, you also have what are called bat wing original hardware. So the hardware, the drawer pulls. This is a very nice piece. Now granted, a lot of DIYers would take this and paint it with chalk paint and make it kind of a pretty color. But in terms of quality, these are very nice pieces. Yes, they're big, and yes, they're heavy, and yes, you got to get your brother-in-law and 5 other guys to move it, but it's a good solid piece for a long time, and it will basically shine up pretty well. Made by the manufacturer by Irwin, chest of drawers, American made, $425 for this. If you got a piece of solid hardwood like this, it's going to cost you $800, so that's a bargain. And I'm sorry, but I cannot pass by jewelry. So this piece I really liked for a couple of different reasons. First of all, I like the different color. Here's a heart-shaped, marquee-shaped. There's an oval, faceted cut gemstone. Now these are faux, remember this is costume jewelry, but the reason why we know that this is from the 1980s and not from the 1960s is this, the telltale sign. You see this rope necklace right here? It's a gold tone metal rope. That rope and the clasp, which I'm going to show you in a minute, but that twisted rope, very popular in the 1980s, and different sized faceted cut gemstones. Now again, they're fake. Trying to look like smoky topaz, trying to look like citrines. But this clasp in the back, that nice traditional clasp, is one that a lot of people will say, oh, okay, that should be your telltale sign. When you see the twisted rope and you see this lobster clasp, you're looking at, again, a good piece of costume jewelry. They only want $25 for it. Now, you resell this on Poshmark, you resell this on Etsy, you resell this on eBay, you resell this anywhere, you're easily going to get $75 for that. So that's 3 times what they're asking here. I found great treasures. There's more to come.